Hello and welcome to the England Rugby podcast with O2 Inside Line and me, Dylan Hartley. This week, we're joined by Anthony Watson and Elliot Daly. I've been busy metal detecting today.
Yeah, what are you up to, bro?
Mate, honestly, on Netflix, trending at the moment, #1 film is called The Dig. It's a true story on this 1939. They basically dug up the thing and they thought they found like a Viking ship, but it was an Anglo-Saxon ship and it was full of gold. And it's basically amazing. So straight away,
that's what you're looking
there
for,
with
is it?
metal detector.
Well, was it an Amazon Prime job, was it?
No.
Well, you already had a metal detector?
Yes.
For what?
For what? Did you go out?
Stay.
Hang on. Did you go out with Haas magnet fishing? Did you? That's where you got it from, isn't it?
No. That is weird going down the canals.
It is weird.
No, I've got a mate who does a bit, and because I've got a few acres down here now, you know.
Right.
And he said you might want to give it a go. But lads, thank you for joining me. Welcome back to camp. It's welcome back for me as well. I haven't talked to anyone since the last series. What is it like being back?
It's been very good for me. I think when we come back in, it's good to see the lads again. I think for me, I haven't played a game for a while now, so it's good to come in and get some competitive training going. But like, it's just nice to see the boys again because obviously, ever since the World Cup and the last camp here, because you're together for so long now, it's nice to get those relationships back up and building. But obviously, it's harder this time with all the restrictions we've got. So we've got to try and find a way around it.
Yeah, it's funny. Sorry, Tone, I'll come to you in a sec. But you say being back with the boys, like you're so limited to what you can do, right?
Yeah, we're pretty limited. But I think it's just, Tone, you agree with this? Like when you come into camp, it's always just such a good feeling that like just to go and see the boys and know that we're going into another competition that's going to be hard, but it's going to be good because obviously we're looking to go and win it and stuff. So it's just nice to be back with people that you've had good memories with.
Nice. Tone, what about you? Good to be back?
Yeah, 100%. I think what's different this time is the fact that there's no coming and going. And I think that helps a lot of people just with being able to deal with it mentally. You know, you can set up shop here. You know, Johnny May pretty much like unloaded his entire car, bro. He had everything. So pretty sure he's basically moved into the Lensbury. He's got his chamber with him, about 8 pillows. You know what he's like. He's just brought everything with him. But like Elliot said, just being back with the lads and even being in like a different environment, St George's Park earlier in the week was nice because you can get a bit, bogged down being in the same place for ages. But it's just cool, man. It's just nice to be back. Obviously strange. Everyone's just playing Call of Duty at the moment. A few boys giving it the big one and are absolutely useless. I'm not going to tell you what Elliot's Call of Duty name is, but
can you allude to it?
Enlarged hedge.
Big what? I was thinking like for you boys though, because you've been in and around the camp for 4 or 5, I don't know how many years now, you're actually kind of old horses amongst this group. Like, you know what it's like without COVID restrictions, but if you're Will Stewart coming in, this is the norm for him, you know what I mean? So like for you guys, you've got to be adaptable. I can imagine it's so much harder or is it easier to adapt? Tell me.
I reckon, to be fair, when you come in and you're new here, in the way that the COVID restrictions are now, I think it's probably a little bit easier, personally, just because I feel like you can get to know people at your own speed. And obviously we want that to be as quick as possible to get everyone to gel. But some boys are very different to others, if that makes sense. So some boys will fully immerse themselves from the jump, whereas other guys like to, bit by bit. And so I think that, for the guys who we've got in at the moment, I think it's actually really good because, that time when we are together, you have to use it to get to know people. Otherwise, you're just completely wasting your time. And I feel like everyone here fully buys into that. So when we have got that brief bit of time where we're allowed to sit around each other and do whatever we do, after dinner or whatever, you see boys fully engaging and wanting to be around each other as opposed to just eating your food and going back to your room, which would previously probably happen quite a bit. So, I think it helps. I genuinely do.
I think one of the biggest challenges for any international team, certainly as a player and when I was a captain, was to try and get everyone on the same level as quick as possible. And like what you're saying there, meal times, downtime, snooker table, darts, table tennis, coffee, all these things, those social kind of downtimes is where you would quickly kind of get on board and get everyone gelling. But you guys can't do that now, right? Like, Elliot, can you talk me through some of the restrictions you've got in place?
Yeah, they're pretty tough now, really, to be honest. It's kind of train, eat, where we can eat on individual tables, but 2 meters apart, but sort of a maximum of 15 minutes in there, then back to your room pretty much. So we have got stuff around it. I think the Charlotte and the team here have been brilliant in setting up little areas for us with heaters, with open marquees, with coffee machines everywhere. So just trying to get it as good as it possibly can be. So we can go for a coffee outside. Well, it is outside, it is cold, but there's heaters and you can just wrap up and just chill out there, which is quite nice. If we didn't have that, I think it'd be pretty tough, because it'd honestly be eat, sleep, and just go back to your room pretty much. So it is as good as it probably could be at the moment. It's pretty restricted. Everything, gym training, back. That's pretty much what the schedule is at the moment.
Okay.
Is it some elite blankets?
Yeah, I bet. Like, mate, if there's someone that hates the cold, it's you. And like, is it something that you've talked about? Like, I can imagine you guys are almost like senior players, and you've got to drive those interactions. Is it something that you've talked about as a team? Because every team's facing this, right? Are you going above and beyond to make sure in your downtime, where you can, you guys are kind of forming those relationships and spending time together?
Yeah, we always speak about it pretty much every camp, but I think, with the limited changes that have happened this time, it's about more building on what we had previously. And like I said, with the new guys, just getting them in and up to speed as quickly as possible, in and around the lads where we can, because like Elliot said, the restrictions are kind of mad. So any opportunities that we do have, we need to make the most of them.
Do you know one thing? Like the older I got, and like when I had a young family and stuff, it was harder to go away. It was almost because like my kid, sounds bad. It got harder for me when I went away because my daughter knew I was going. And I was thinking for you, Tone, you just said baby Kai.
Yeah.
I had to double check that because it said Kai ! And I thought it was Kale. And I was like, he isn't called as baby Kale, is he? But you've obviously got like baby Kai at home now, and you are here for a block. How does that, how do you manage that?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Like, it was kind of hard leaving, and it's something that I've never really experienced before. Like, I've never found it tough going into camp or tough going away for extended periods of time, just because this is what I wanted to do since I was a kid. So like, you just got to get on with it. But then this time, I don't know what it was. Yeah, obviously having him and stuff, and knowing that my miss is going to be on her own because of COVID and stuff, just made it a bit hard leaving. But there's no, if I was going to leave to be anywhere, obviously this is the best place for me to be. I can get better as a rugby player and as an individual.
With your big king size bed.
Sorry?
With your big king size bed.
And my full 9 hours sleep.
Yeah, I'm with you. Babe, it's really tough. I'm missing you loads. It's do you know what? It's almost tip of the hat to all the partners, wives, girlfriends, that like they're the ones that almost make the sacrifice, isn't it? Like we choose to go away and train and chase your dreams and your goals and aspirations, and they're kind of left home holding it all down. What about you, Elliot? You miss your dog?
Yeah, dog. I think the one thing for me is on a normal camp, obviously you're away for quite a long time, but you get to see people after the game, and you get that little interaction with your family or your missus, or like just people that you're familiar with. But then because you don't have that now, it's a very different concept, where you get to the weekend, play the game, you get back on the bus and get back to the hotel. So I think that's the bit I miss the most, really, because obviously, as Tone said, we want to be here and you understand the sacrifices that's going to have to happen to do that. But the other camps, you'll be able to just see them at the weekend and sort of look forward to that. But without that, it's definitely more difficult.
Yeah, I'm with you. So Elliot, let's talk about the other relationship in your life. Are you engaged, or did you get married? Forgive me.
Engaged. I had to delay the wedding due to COVID.
It was a COVID wedding, got delayed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about
Yeah.
that. But let's talk about the other relationship in your life, Jamie George. How's that been managed, not being able to be in each other's pockets all day, every day?
I mean, it's only been 3 days at the moment. I think he's getting some withdrawal symptoms, but we're trying to stay strong. I don't know why Tone's shaking his head here. Sinks would be coming in with his 6 heaters just ready to go like this, making every room that he wants a sauna. And then Tone would just be lapping him up, just following him around everywhere. No, but yeah, it's, as you said, it's difficult, but I think it allows you, especially with the way we're doing sort of gym times and stuff like that, you end up spending time with your positional groups a little bit more, which means I get to spend time with sort of Paolo or maybe Harry Randall, who I've not met before, which definitely strengthens those relationships, which obviously is what we're trying to do.
I suppose it kind of forces you out of what's comfortable, because like you guys have got your strong bonds and relationships, and you've kind of come through with like Sinks for you, Tone, Jamie George, your Bizzer, Elliot. It's usually hard to maybe make, or no, how am I trying to phrase this? Like you say, you probably don't spend time with those people unless you're forced to. What about you two though? Aren't you like vying for the same position? How's that work?
Me and
You and Elliot. Yeah.
Nah, it's never really been like that, to be fair. Like the back three is so.
Come on, mate. Like you and JJ are best mates, and like he played on the wing during the autumn, and you're like, come on, JJ, hope you do well, but not too well.
Nah, bro, I'm never like that. I promise you. Look, me and Elliot have been playing together and in a similar position since we were like 19 years old. And whether he's playing fullback, I'm playing fullback, or I'm on the wing, whatever, it genuinely doesn't bother me at all anymore. And I would say 2 years ago, I definitely just wanted to play fullback, and I was like, that's it. Like, that's all I want to play. I'm tired of playing on the wing. And I think I wasted so much energy just trying to make myself into a fullback that I kind of forgot what made me the player I was. So I'm really not fussed at all about where I play. And there's definitely no me and Elliot trying to compete to play fullback or him trying to play on the wing. Is wherever we're picked. And we just want to just be as skillful as we can in those roles.
I think we understand as well as a back three, like the way that our meetings go, the way we speak to each other, we want to make everyone as good as we possibly can be, because we want England to be the best team in the world. So that's our aim. And we know we can't do that just on our own. We need everyone on the same page, singing off the same hymn sheet. So, and as Tone says, selection isn't down to us, it's down to Eddie. We train as hard as we can and as well as we can, but we try and drive each other in training, try and get extra reps in the gym, like competitive gym. Like, that's always going to make you better, that kind of stuff, which is brilliant. That's why I love coming into camp. You're here with the best players and you're getting better every day.
Man, to be talented like you guys, to just like be able to bounce around positions. Like Tone, what you're saying there, you wanted to be fullback. Elliot, you drop in at centre, fullback, wing, wherever. Like, I just made my bed real early. Just like, this is me. I'm destined. Like, this is me. I'm not even going to bother thinking about any other positions. But to be as talented as you boys, what a dilemma to be in. But no, fair play to you. Early days. When did you get capped, boys? Elliot, you were 2016?
Yeah, 2016.
Was it Six Nations?
Six Nations, the second or third to last game, the Ireland game.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about like early memories. My earliest memory of you, Elliot, is actually that 2016 tour. We had a nice little talent show, and Elliot, you revealed your history in drama and performing arts to the rest of the squad.
Well, you say that. If you're saying that, I've done a good job, because I didn't know what to do in a talent show. I didn't want to sing. I didn't want to do any of that. So I thought, right, I put a Speedo on and do some rhythmic
I think
gymnastics.
It was a leotard.
Yeah, it was like
a leotard.
I think it was a women's Speedo, like swimming costume.
But yeah, like that you had.
He had like a wand with the fabric on it, and he did the.
Oh yeah.
And you did a lovely kind of performance. I think the minimum was kind of 3 minutes long, and your athletic ability kind of transferred from the pitch onto the stage. And I was like, that is what private education gets you, a well-rounded kid that can do everything. I was really impressed.
I'll tell my mum about that. She'd be happy. She'd be happy on me.
The one thing I did love about it is like you're basically forced into performing, but you 100% threw yourself into it. And it was, I think you got 10, 10, 10 from the audience. We don't need to mention the other.
I won't do that. But I'll tell you one thing, Dils. You don't understand how happy I was on that tour when I wasn't picked to do anything for that talent show. Bro, I was so nervous the whole time I was going to get shorted.
Tone, what about you? Early memories. When did you get involved with the team?
2014 autumn series.
Okay.
That was my first.
So you've been around a little while longer.
Yeah. He's one cap ahead of me as well.
Who? Elliot?
Yeah.
Am I? I thought we were the same.
Nah.
But you guys have obviously come through the age groups together. And footnote here, there's a lovely photo of you two with some great hair. You know the one I'm talking about, right?
I categorically.
Yeah.
What was your inspiration at the time, Elliot?
My inspiration looked like to repel as many women as possible from a young age.
Very successful.
Very, very successful it was too. No, I don't know what it was. I think I don't know. It was the worst. I actually blame my mum and dad for this. I know I can make my own decisions, but there comes a point where you're like, you look like an idiot. You got to shave that off. It was just so long. It was horrible. Never again. But I actually didn't mind Tone's hair. I didn't mind Tone's hair when his.
No.
Didn't you have a side thing going on?
Mate, mine was just categorically a disgrace. I had a combed over afro with a blonde bit in the corner.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my God. I remember the first time I showed up to Irish with that. Dylan Armitage and Shantae Happe, bro, they saw me and they were like, who is this guy, bro? And then non-stop for about a year and a half, they were telling me every day, you've got to cut your hair, bro. It's got to go.
You weren't playing to your strengths, were you?
Absolutely not.
Elliot, I just picked up on something there. You're saying you're trying to repel as many women with your hair. It actually worked in the opposite form. Didn't you meet your future wife not so long after?
Yeah, I did actually. But that was when I shaved it off. So that was definitely the issue. The only issue, obviously.
We kind of touched on both of you being like well-rounded athletes. Tone, I know you got a massive interest in NFL. Elliot, you're probably one of the most gifted all-round sportsmen I've ever seen. Where's it born for both of you guys? Like your all-round ability. Is it family? Is it school? Where did you kind of pick up your love for sports, Elliot?
I think for me, it was probably started with my dad, to be honest. I never really, the whole sort of PlayStation console thing, it wasn't really part of what we did at home. So it was always what we're doing after school. We'll go and I'll be playing something or doing something, or if it was a training session, my dad would be there and he'll be taking me for extras after just because I wanted to and I wanted to burn off some energy. Like, honestly, I was a very energetic kid, but I think the way that he sort of made it fun and competitive for me, I think I was quite a competitive child and I got quite angry when I lost when I was very young. So I think he got that competitive nature for me, and then that just sort of went through to school. And then I think Whitgift for me, my school was brilliant. The amount of sports you could do and dip your toe into and have a look at was brilliant, and just sort of opened my eyes to that.
Have you got brothers, sisters? Did you compete with them?
Yeah, I've got an older brother. He was in the London Irish Academy actually years ago. Silver group, he was. Tone?
Can you reference the silver group? What's the silver group?
I think the gold group was like the one to be in. I think Corbs was in the same gold group as my brother was in the silver group. So, but he's like way too clever. Like, he's a good rugby player, to be honest, but he does think he's Sonny Bill Williams though. He's playing for Old Whitgiftians, the old boys team, and he's like throwing out the back doors and stuff. But yeah, he is a good player, and but he's just very clever. So he's gone down the academic route instead. So he's taken all the clever genes.
So you're not so clever. You're just uber talented and athletic. What about you, Tone? I know you got a massive love of all things America.
All things America, you know.
Yeah.
Similar to Elliot. I mean, I tried to play as many sports as I could when I was younger, but mainly just because my older brother was playing them. So he was like the barometer for where I wanted to be at. So I just wanted to compete with him at everything he did. If he got into I know, London Irish Academy, then I wanted to get into London Irish Academy. If he got scouted by a football team, then I wanted to get scouted by a football team. I was always trying to compete with him. And then eventually I just got to an age where my old man played rugby for a bit and he always preferred us playing that a little bit. Like he never said it, but you could just tell. And then it just came to an age where Marcus was doing really, really well at rugby. And like I said, I just wanted to compete with him as much as I could. So then I was like, oh, I should probably try to take rugby seriously now. And yeah, I just tried to outdo everything.
Well, you've only mentioned Marcus there. Like Callum's, your younger brother, is quite gifted as well, right?
Yeah, he's very skillful.
If you were going to put the three brothers into gold, silver, and bronze group, how would you do that?
I'd have to break us down into different. So for skills, Callum is gold group.
No. I'm not asking about skills. I'm just saying put someone in gold, silver, bronze. All round. Come on.
Bro, I can't do that. I'll put Callum in gold group. I'll put Marcus in silver. I'll take bronze.
So Marcus is, he's an Olympian.
Yeah.
Callum's a student, and you're a British and Irish Lion, fully fledged England international. You're putting yourself bronze, yeah?
I have to put myself bronze, bro.
I
can't do it to him.
From when you kind of started and came through in the team, 2014 for you, Tone, 2016 for you, Elliot, how's it changed in terms of you guys, in terms of preparing athletically, training, mentally? How have you guys changed as professionals?
I think mentally I've changed a fair bit, just in terms of the way I approach the game. I think before my first cap in 2014, I didn't speak to anyone from like 48 hours before kickoff. Like I was just so nervous. It was a joke. I had no interest in speaking to anyone. Probably.
Did you start that?
No, I came off the bench for Rocco. Probably looked like a ghost as I was coming on for him. But I think that's just an area that has changed pretty drastically in terms of, like I said, how I prepare for games and how I go into it mentally. Obviously, the nerves never completely go away. But how you deal with that and how you are in and around the lads before that, I think has changed massively.
Why is that though? Is that because it's business now? Like you've done it so many times, or
I think that helps. That definitely helps. But like I said, they'll never go away fully. Some boys genuinely will have no nerves, and that's cool for them. But other boys will have a little bit. Some boys will still have it really bad. But I think the reason why I've now able to deal with it and go into the games a lot more relaxed and confident is just in terms of the amount of preparation that I do. So whether it's skill stuff, mental stuff, like visualizing, that type of stuff, all of that adds to going into a game just feeling confident and trusting that you've done everything you can do Monday to Friday to allow you to play well Saturday. So now it doesn't really there's not too much that will get in the way of how I feel before a game, if that makes sense.
Nice. Would you argue or would you agree, both of you, getting your first cap, you kind of got there with a little bit of hard work, a little bit of talent, and then you got there, you get capped, but staying where you are, especially in one of Eddie's environments where he's continuously driving you guys to get better, always asking and pushing you to drive your own careers. Have you guys notched anything up in that respect?
When I came back in 2016, obviously when I was named in the squad, it was brilliant for me. And then as I came into, I probably wasn't ready for physically for international rugby. I wouldn't say still. I'd say, obviously playing the Premiership, I played for a few years and I was confident in what I could do. Didn't really know what position I was, but just confident in what I could do on the pitch. But the environment here took me like that. I think the S&C, the training, the analysis, everything you can possibly get is here. And I think for me to come in at that point was actually brilliant for me, because I could have not played for England, just stayed where I was playing for Wasps at the time and just doing that sort of level and thinking that was good enough. Whereas actually when you get into this environment, you actually see what goes on and what shape people need to be in, or what physical demands on the game you have to be able to cope with. I think that's a massive thing. And I think for me to come in at that point was brilliant for me to just go, right, I'm going to take everything on board here and try and get into the best physical condition I could possibly be in for test match rugby.
Yeah, thanks. Ed. I think you kind of answered it for me, but Tone, I'd like to hear from you on it. I think that I'll try and rephrase it. You would have come through good young kid, fast, good footwork, talented, and then you get a taste of international rugby. You get your foot in the door, you get a cap, but to stay there, like your nickname is the old horse. You used to be the young horse. You're the old horse now.
Yeah.
Tony the Pony is like the old horse.
He's done.
No, you're not done. You're still here. That's my point. You were out injured for a while, and now you're back. And I think that's a sign of someone that's continuously improving and pushing. And what I kind of wanted to say, Elliot, you touched on it there, is you don't want to be in the best shape, and the physical demands in the game. You've got to understand how to get in shape and these sorts of things. What are you guys doing outside of the club regime, the international regime, in your own time to make sure you're getting better, if anything?
Yeah, I think now more than ever, you have to try and take as many aspects of your career into your own hands. So whether that's recovery, having everything that you need in your house, whether it's your food, whatever you need to eat as well as possible, you have that prepared at home. Your weights, whatever you need, S&C wise, if you want to, speak to X or Y, Z to get their opinion, just getting as much information as possible to make an educated guess on stuff that affects your career. Because at the end of the day, if you don't care, no one else is going to care more than you should care for your own career, if that makes sense. So why not speak to all those people? Why not gather all that information? And why not invest in, all the stuff you need to recover? Because, no one is going to do that stuff for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that, because if I'm honest, until I met Eddie and his demands and opportunity that he kind of gave to me, I didn't think like that. I just kind of went along with it. And it wasn't until he kind of triggered a few things in my mind, I started asking those questions, seeking advice, seeking the best people to help me with training, diet, understanding the game, make sure you got the right equipment and stuff like that. It's funny because I've kind of done all that in retirement, in the rebuild phase of Hartley 3.0. Like I'm not coming back to play rugby, but I just want to be able to complete a walk or something like that. And I've managed to do like hot and colds at home. I've got a little hyperbaric chamber. I've got like compression garments, all this sort of stuff. And the guy who came and dropped off my hot tub, he's like, "Oh, I've just been to Chisora's house." And he was like, "Well, it wasn't Chisora's house. He's got a house where he lives with his family, but then like down the road, he's got another house, which is his like recovery house. And it's like big screen TV on the wall, big lazy boy, hot tub in the back. And like his family's not allowed down there." I don't know if that's true or not, but Tone, I heard you've got a good setup at home. I'm not saying you've got a separate house in Bath, but have you got a good setup?
Chisora sounds like the blueprint, mate. I need to get that. But no, like I said, I mean, when we went to Japan, myself and a few others were really, really into the onsens that they've got over there. I don't know if you went, Elliot, but there was one in Tokyo that we went to every single day that we were there. And it's just, I don't know, the whole environment was amazing. Like the first time I saw a picture of, the way that they shower on those tiny stools, I was like, bro, there's no way I'm sitting on that thing to shower. Next thing you know, mate, I'm there lathered up, like just loving it. So it was me, Sink, and Willie Hines went every day pretty much. And
how did you get on? Like because you got tattoos, right?
Yeah.
So culturally, I thought that was a big no-no with the onsens.
Yeah, it was. So it was a bit of a faff. Like we had to go in there and like cover our tattoos with these like stickers that were basically skin colored, which was a bit annoying every day, but it was worth it. And the way, whatever we did in there in terms of like rotating between the hot bath, the cold bath, the sauna, which was like 100 degrees, it was nuts. Just rotating between all three of those, the way that my body felt in that World Cup was like nothing I'd experienced before, like recovery wise. So when I left, I wanted to try and copy as much of it as possible. So I basically had a sauna, hot tub and cold tub put in my house. So now when I finish training and stuff, I go home and I just do the exact same thing and just rotate between the three. And yeah, that's it really. I mean, I love it. It's different doing it on your own, I won't lie. Doing it with the same guys you've been doing it with for however long was a lot more entertaining, but it still has your body feeling great. And, you know, we try and where we can in camp, we still try and make it happen now. Obviously COVID stuff makes it a little bit more difficult, but yeah.
Man, I reckon the penny dropped for me when it was too late, how important recovery was. It's probably because I wasn't training hard enough or being pushed physically pre that. But I actually craved recovery. I wanted the ice. I wanted the heat. I really look forward to doing it because, like you say, the benefit that you get is huge. Elliot, what about you? What do you turn to other than pain au chocolat and flat white?
Yeah, well, I would love to. I think when I buy a house next, I think I'm going to try and get a setup
like another one.
Well, no, I'm in the process of buying a house, but it's taken forever. I don't want to go into it. I think for me, what Tone said about the onsens, I've never experienced anything like that. It was unbelievable. I think, have you got a little seat for your shower at all?
No, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I need to get an outdoor shower.
Can you describe this little seat? What is it?
It's honestly like a little stool.
It's like this big,
about this big. Yeah.
Plastic or?
Some are wooden, some are plastic.
Wooden.
Like, is it sort of thing that your kid will stand on to brush their teeth?
Yeah. Exactly that.
Then if you imagine a shower head, is it like your head level as you're sat down? You literally just grab the shower head and you're there washing yourself like this in a little cubicle. There's like 15 guys either side of you sat down. Everyone's completely naked. It's just, I don't know, mate. It was unbelievable.
And then there's like those little buckets you just like cold bucket over your head. It's really good.
But okay, talk me through the process. So you do that pre going in the sauna?
Pre and post, you can, yeah.
Yeah, like that's all good, right? When you've got, you've trained all day, and basically the best time of day is like when you finish that second or third session and you've got nothing else on for the evening. You've just got recovery food, just your own time. That's all good sitting there scrubbing yourself and saunaing and that. But do you even do that at home? Do you sit down at home or not?
What, do the shower thing at home?
Yeah.
No.
No, that's what I mean. Like, so the experience was that in Japan. At home, you don't do that.
No, I would love it.
I wish I could.
I need a little seat. I think now thinking about it, I definitely need one.
Well, okay, so let's go back to the root of the question. Elliot, what do you do for recovery?
Sauna blanket at home. Ice. I quite like ice after a big session. But yeah, I think for me, on days off, I like to be a bit more active, as in long walk, just be a bit more mobile than just sitting. So say if you are sore, just sitting down, that's probably the worst thing for me. Just getting out, walking the dog, even if it's a long walk or going somewhere different. It's just nice for me, just get my body moving and I feel good the next day.
Do you want to is it Winston the Pug? Has he got his own Instagram? You want to give him a plug?
At Puglet Winston.
Puglet Winston, give him a follow, guys. You see the adventures of Elliot's days off, recovery walks. For you guys, I mean, you're still quite young in terms of years, but in terms of games, like you guys I'd consider you senior players now. You're both approaching 50 caps. How do you feel like a different person in terms of when you walk into the room or when you walk onto the field? You've got to set the tone. You've got to be the example. Do you feel any different?
I think for me, it's all about what I try and bring to the team is what I do in training. So I want to be out there training as good as I can do, giving it 100%, bringing everyone, trying to bring the energy to around the squad to get everyone ready for training. Just trying to be that guy who looks like he's got bundles of energy, even though sometimes he might not. But I think for me, when I came in, that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to train as well as possible, because that's the one thing I have control over when I first came in. I think that's the same as I do now. I think
in a roundabout way, Elliot, that is exactly what I'm kind of asking. It's what a leader, a senior player should be doing. You know what I mean? Turning up with the same energy you had when you came in for your first cap. So in your way, you are effectively doing that. So keep doing that, mate. You're doing good. Well done, you.
Oh, well, thanks, Dills.
Tone, what about you? You kind of, you're back after a bit of a layoff. You got some game time. It's good to see you back, mate. Gave you a shout out on Amazon Prime. So he's got dad strength now. He's back. He's skilled up. He's got a fresh haircut.
Bro, the haircut situation is going to be a problem this camp.
I don't know what they were, but my daughter used to refer to your hair as Wrigley Worms. Wrigley Worm Boy. Wrigley Worm Boy, Dad. She'd be like, let's send a video to Wrigley Worm Boy. And I was like, all right.
Amazing. Similar to Elliot, man. Like, I'm not going to change too much of what he said. The only thing that I would add is just I feel a bit of an obligation now to try and help boys who, like we said, who are coming in to get them up to speed. Whereas, maybe 3-4 years ago, I would have left those guys to their own devices, let them figure it out. Now I feel like, having been here for a while, it's important for the group and for the person coming in that you go out of your way to help them, because people did that for me. So I think it's important to repay or pass that information on. I just say you're welcome.
You're welcome.
But where were you the night before I arrived at camp when I had to eat breakfast on my own? That's what I want to know, Dills.
Where was that? What are you talking about?
Do you not remember my first time in camp?
No, tell us about your first time in camp, and I'll tell you about my first time in camp.
My first time in camp, I was so nervous. None of the lads, because I just moved to Bath from London Irish. I was pretty shy anyway, like when I was young. Still pretty shy now, but anyway. First time into camp, like there was no one or not many people at Bath or in camp that I knew very well. So across the board, I didn't know anyone really. And so I was driving up from Bath the night before, and you guys were all in camp still. And I was like, who am I going to sit with at breakfast tomorrow? Like, I don't know anyone. Like, this is the type of thing. I was just panicking. So I stopped on the motorway, got some breakfast, and ate it in my room the night before. The morning of training. How bad.
That is weird. That is kind of like, that's deep-rooted social anxiety there.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have been there for you. At that time, that was Lanny, right?
Yeah.
That was New Age England. That was all like, hey, everyone, like, come in, let's welcome everyone. It's greet people, hold hands, show you around the facilities, and introduce yourself type thing. Like when I first went in back in 2007 or 2008, I walked into that same food room at Penny Hill. That is the food room now, and there must have been a table of players, right, eating their lunch, and like one or two picked their heads up from the trough and just went like, and I was just like, right. So I just got some food, sat down by myself, and no one said like, oh, the manager's office is there, the coach is there, physios are down there. It was just like crack on, like. But culturally, it's much different back then. Now, you guys, you do a great job of, it's a cool place to come in. It's not an intimidating place. And I remember talking to Owen on this podcast last year, saying that you want guys to come in and feel comfortable straight away. You don't want guys on edge, kind of staying within themselves. You want them to contribute as early as possible. You want them to be relaxed, be themselves, because ultimately that's what they probably do at club level, and they perform, and that's why they're there. So yeah, our experience is slightly different. I would have been there for you though. I would have had breakfast.
I know you would, bro.
Man, every morning, I reckon, every time I walked into the food room after I'd done my second session of the day, when you guys kind of came down for breakfast, I reckon I'd walk past you or JJ and I'd pull your hoods off your head every time. Has that
That's
changed?
the first thing to do in the morning, bro.
Hood up. I'll pull it straight down. No hoods at the table, mate. Sorry, I'm old school. So what's the crack with training? Like, are you guys fully able to smack each other? Like, or is it good? Are you kind of avoiding contact training? And your backs, you don't really do much anyway. Like, how is it? Oh,
yeah, we do stuff, bro.
We do stuff.
What was that? High ball collision?
No, it was Tom Curry's stud to the face.
I'm not surprised it was Tom Curry.
Yep.
He only knows one way to train, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
How did he come off?
Oh, mate, not a scratch. Absolutely.
His stud's just fine, yeah?
Yeah. No
Didn't
issues.
even feel him.
Right, both of you, 50 caps incoming. Milestone for you guys? Is it something that you, is it important to you?
Yeah, I think so, definitely.
Good answer. So it should be.
Yeah. I just think it's, I don't know how to sum it up really. It's just like milestone sounds rubbish. I don't know a different word for it, but it's like something you set out to do, isn't it? When you say you've got 50 caps for your country, it sounds better than 42, doesn't it? So,
well, disrespecting everyone with 42 and below.
no, but it sounds better, doesn't it? So, I mean, look, yeah, it's something I would definitely love to be able to do, but whether it happens or not, we'll wait and see.
What about you, Al?
Yeah, I think for me, I think seeing Jamie and Lenny in the Italy game getting 50 and 100, I think you see the impact that has. And I think for me, seeing one of my best mates run out there get 50 caps, or I wasn't there for the occasion, unfortunately, but I think it just, in your head, you feel like, oh, I'm actually quite close to that. That's an amazing achievement. And you realize when you first set out, as Tone says, you don't necessarily say, I want to get 50 caps. That's not what I said. I just wanted to play as many times, and closer it's getting, it's brilliant to be that close to such a big achievement. And I think it just goes, it's kind of solidifies all that stuff you sacrificed and all the hard work it's almost paying off to get those 50 caps. And then, but you just want to push on from then on. I just want to play as many games as I possibly can do, really.
Do you feel like you've been in and around the team for a long time? Do you feel like you've played a lot of games for England?
I do, yeah. I think I feel I've been lucky since 2016 to be sort of injury free, touch wood, and be in around the squad since then. So I feel like, I don't know, it's weird saying senior player, but I don't feel like I do feel a little bit like a senior player, but I feel like
if you look at the numbers from 2016, you've basically just about played every game since then. So my following question would be, is it slightly depressing knowing like if you want to get 100 caps, you basically got to do it all again?
No, that is exciting. That's very exciting for me.
Okay. What about you, Tone? Like, you know how like 2014, that's 6-7 years of your life. Like, have you got another 6-7 years of your life to get to Hundy? You'll be like the old horse there, mate. You'll be off to the
God, I'll be the ancient horse, bro. I'll be the rocking horse, bro.
The donkey, mate. You'll be the mule.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. The 100 is a lot of rugby and a lot of tests. So I don't know. I can't answer that question if I'm honest.
I think the only thing that the only thing for you guys, like, you got to stay fast. You got to stay fast. Like, I was 3 short of a Hundy, but I was cool. I was just like plodding. It was like no one really expected too much from me, and yeah, you guys.
You were the captain. No one expected too much.
No one expected too much.
No, I meant from a physical point of view. You know what I mean? Like as soon as you get slow, as soon as you get like gassed on a kickback, or like you see like James Lowe got rinsed for like not being there to tackle Johnny May on that wonder try. You know, it's like as soon as a winger doesn't look fast, everyone's like, get him gone. He's gone. Whereas
slowly move in, or just go to centre and then inside centre and just be a ball carrier, hopefully.
Yeah. Tone, any aspirations to move further in ball carrying?
Absolutely 12? Not. Absolutely not. No, you will not see me hitting a ball straight from the 9 off a line out. Impossible.
Stay elusive. You need time and space, don't you?
Yes, please.
I'll give you credit. You don't need that much space.
Very true.
Elliot, you were known as a fat back for a while. Can you put any context to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very hard position to be in because I'm not.
Before you go any further, I don't think you're fat. You know, I'm not fat.
I'm less Mills than Anthony at the moment. So.
Okay, there you go. And you're extremely powerful. You can kick the ball from at least 60 meters. You're very explosive. But for some reason, you've carried this tag within camp of being a fat back. A bit like being young for a while.
Me and Lenny were like a little bit like this for a while. And then I think, I don't know, I just wasn't, as I said, when I came into camp, I physically wasn't ready at all. I was, you know, a bit of chocolate at home, that type of thing. But I think as you get older, I think you see the importance of actually not having to be, I thought I had to be 98, 99 kilos, and I don't have to be that. So, especially in my position, the amount that we run in our position, we don't need to be that heavy anymore. So for me, it was just like, right, yeah, that's enough now. Let's get it down to a reasonable weight. And then with that less weight, hopefully means you're quicker as well. So helps in both ways.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Then you got Johnny May, like, who I don't think he's got any fat on him. So then you're kind of compared to him. It's like, well, you need to get down to. I was like, that's impossible. So how lean is he? It's like a joke, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's embarrassing.
It's borderline unacceptable.
Yeah. You know he's not having fun at all. Anyway.
No, but he is, which is the problem.
No, he's like a ticking time bomb. Like, right, lads, thank you for spending time with me, giving us some great insights there. Good luck for this weekend. We'll be watching and supporting. Cheers.
Cheers.